Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the lovely Karina here in Bogota, Colombia, high up in the Andes Mountains as we wait for our K1 visa to get adjudicated at the Service Center in California. We got our NOA1 letter back in April and now we are in December. So that's what? We're into our 8th month of waiting, so we're about halfway to our NOA2 letter. And we hope you guys are halfway or even closer to your NOA2 letter also. But this video is about red flags that immigration officers look for when they're adjudicating your K1 visa. Is your K1 visa real or is it a fraud? Okay? Come on along and we'll explain some red flags to look out for. Now, most important, okay, ladies and gentlemen, USCIS does not want to block your K1 visa. They don't want to deny you your K1 visa, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, okay? They want you to come to the United States and get married and live happily ever after and have lots of kids, and it's an eternal connection, okay? But immigration does look for red flags for a fraud relationship, okay? And here are some examples, okay? Number one, Facebook posts. Okay, you have a Facebook post, Mr. Sponsor, your beneficiary, he has a Facebook post, okay? But everything's private on your beneficiary's Facebook. And you're not friends, Mr. Sponsor, with your beneficiary on Facebook. Why? Why aren't you friends? Why not? Okay? Why don't you have any pictures posted on Facebook with your beneficiary? Karina and I, we've traveled all over Colombia, all over this big, beautiful country, and we got pictures posted on Facebook from every city we've ever been to, and it's public. So you can check it out, which means if you can see it, immigration can see it. If immigration can't see it, if you're not friends with your beneficiary, if you, Mr. Sponsor, have a Facebook status of interested in other women, immigration is going to look at that and go, huh? What's up with that? We recommend, now you don't have to do this, but we recommend that you connect to your beneficiary in Facebook and mark your status as engaged. And then immigration's happy. Okay? It's very simple. Okay? Now, when you fill out your DS Form 160, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, when you get to the MVC level, the MVC, the National Visa Center, are going to ask you for your Facebook account. They want to know what it is. And they're going to check it out. Of course they're going to check it out. Why else would they ask for it? Okay. So you've been with your fiance, with your prometido, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, and you don't have any photos together. Why not? Okay? When you submit your K1 visa package, you bundle up your visa package, you mail it to the lockbox in Dallas, you must include photos of you together from the beginning of your relationship to the day you mailed your package off to the Dallas lockbox. If you do not include photos, or if you include only 2 or 3 photos taken on the day before you mailed your visa package to the dock box, you're going to get an RFE. You're going to get a request for further evidence. Okay? Immigration wants to know, why don't you have any pictures together? And if you have 0 pictures together, Mr. Sponsor, you need to get on a plane and fly to your beneficiary's country and take lots of pictures together. At least 20 to 30, okay, over the duration of your relationship. So if you've been together for 5 years, you should have pictures from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. Okay? If you do not include pictures in your visa package, or if you only include a few, you will get an RFE. Trust me on this, okay? Okay, another red flag that immigration looks for is no shared language, okay? This can be a red flag. So my advice to you, Mr. Sponsor, is if you are dating a Latina, if you are engaged to a Latina and you don't speak Spanish and your fiance doesn't speak English, you better start learning Spanish, okay? Learn Spanish. Put this Duolingo app on your phone right here and use it and start learning Spanish, okay? If you're foreign national, fiance speaks English fluently, then there's no problem. It's no big deal. To our friends in the Philippines, lots of Filipinos, they all speak English and Tagalog, and they have different dialects. The Philippine Islands, there's thousands and thousands of islands, and you got all these different dialects, but I would say 99% of all Filipinos speak English, so there's no problem there. But if you, like Karina is from Venezuela, she speaks Spanish, obviously, she's learning English. So I learned Spanish. Now I can speak Spanish at the level of a 5-year-old niño, but I can speak Spanish and I can communicate and we can chat. Sí, mi amor, yo entiendes, yo hablo español, mi español bien o no?
Bien.
Bien, okay, so my Spanish is good. So Karina says my Spanish is good. Immigration's going to say my Spanish is good. So learn English or learn Spanish or learn whichever country, whatever language it is your fiance is from. If she's from Greece, that's your problem. I wouldn't want to learn how to speak Greek. Okay, now, another big age gap. Another big red flag immigration sees is a big age gap between the beneficiary and sponsor, But is it a problem? No. Immigration looks at it, okay, you're Mr. Sponsor, you're 20 years older than your beneficiary, your beautiful future wife. Okay, no big deal. Immigration's got no problem with that, okay? But you got to show lots of evidence that you guys are in a real relationship and that you have commonality between each other. Commonality means you have the same interests. Even though you're 20, 25 years older than each other, you have the same interests. Now, I'm older than Karina. Karina's younger than me, but who cares, right? We love history. We love cooking. We love culture. We both enjoy the same things. We like the same things. Everything we do together, we love. She likes watching football. Right now, in November, she's watching football. It's Argentina. And Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. Can you believe that? Argentina, numero uno, and unbelievable, okay? So if there's a big age gap, don't worry about it, okay? But just make sure that you have a common interest in a lot of things with lots of evidence for immigration to see. They don't take your word for nothing. It's got to be evidence. Another red flag that immigration will look at are different cultural or social backgrounds, okay? Immigration is going to be curious to know why you're in a different cultural or social status, different wealth levels, okay? Now, Karina is a tax accountant, she's college educated, and she was in Venezuela, and she had a fantastic career, and her job was good. She had a big bank account, and then the Venezuelan government totally destroyed the Venezuelan bolivar, so her bank depleted, boom. Now, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm college educated, so we don't really have we don't have much difference, in our social status between each of us, okay? So it's something immigration looks at. Is it going to block you from getting your visa? No. But immigration looks at it, okay? Now, immigration is not racist by any means, okay? They don't care what the color of your skin is when they process your visa, whether you're black, white, whatever. They don't care, okay? Hispanic, brown, red, doesn't matter, okay? But immigration will take a look at race differences in the relationship, okay? It's a little tiny red flag, and USCIS will look at it. It's not going to stop you from getting your visa, but they'll take a look at it and say, well, do they have shared interests? Do they like the same things? Do they have a commonality between them? So, does being in a relationship with a different race person have an impact on the visa? No. Does immigration look at it? Yeah, they took a look at it. They just take a peek at it and say, okay, the K1 visa package is strong. They're in love. Everything's good. So it's good. And you press on. Okay? No problem. Another red flag for immigration will be different educational levels or backgrounds. Okay? Sometimes this raises a red flag with immigration. So include evidence in your visa package, your K1 visa package, to remind immigration, show the immigration authorities that a college degree is not the final say in a K1 visa approval, nor is intelligence, skills, or emotional feelings. Okay, those are the things that are important. Your love for each other. Now, Karina has a college degree, education, 4 years of college. I've got a college education. I'm a real estate agent. I had to take all these exams. So educationally, Karina's probably way higher than I am educationally, but we have a commonality, and you know, I'm not worried about it. I included a copy of Karina's college transcripts in her K-1 visa package. I included my schooling and my real estate schooling transcripts and licenses in the K-1 visa package. So there's a commonality that we're both like the same things, and we can both speak to each other at the same level on our interests and our passions in life. So it's just something to think about. This is a big red flag, okay? This is raise the red flag up the pole. You got engaged to your prometida, to your fiancée, within a week of chatting with her. You chatted with her for a month in Facebook. You flew to whichever country she lives in or he lives in, and you got engaged. You've known each other for what, 4 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 months? That's insane, okay? Immigration will look very, very, very hard at a person who has been in a very short engagement and then has dropped the K-1 visa package on them to adjudicate, okay? And another thing they look at is, you know, let's suppose you got divorced yesterday and then today you got engaged to this new person. You got a one-day turnaround. Immigration's going to look at that. Now, the exception to this would be that if you can prove, let's say during COVID, that you were separated from your ex-wife for a year. It took a year to get a divorce decree finalized because all the courts were locked up with COVID and everything was shut down. If you can show immigration that you had to wait a couple of years for your divorce to get finalized because of some circumstance out of your control, and then you got engaged to this person the day after your divorce decree got signed, that's fine. It's no problem. Immigration go, okay, well look, it took them a year and a half just to get a divorce because the COVID locked all the courts up, okay? So it's just something to think about. If you are in a very, very short engagement, ladies and gentlemen, immigration's going to look at it very, very hard. Now, the U.S. government, immigration in particular, they also keep a track of which countries in the world, which countries' citizens commit the most visa fraud or immigration fraud at the highest rates, okay? And this, of course, is not your fault, okay? It's not your fault. But there's a list of countries which has got, you know, the most busted people trying to commit visa fraud, and immigration keeps a track of these numbers, and they keep track of who they are, which countries they are, and if you happen to live in one of those countries, I'm sorry, but you're going to get your immigration visa is going to be, your K-1 visa is going to be looked at very, very hard to make sure the relationship is real. It's just life, okay? Not my fault, not your fault, but you submit your visa, show all your evidence, and you'll be good as long as it's real. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we hope this video was helpful to you regarding red flags. Now, if your relationship is real, you're good. If you got a ton of evidence, if you got over a year plus worth of evidence and photos, and you've been engaged to each other for a long time, and you've made numerous trips back and forth, Mr. Sponsor, to visit with your fiancée in her country, and everything's solid, you're going to get your K-1 visa, okay? But immigration, they do look hard at your package, and they do look for stuff like that. Age gaps, not so much, but you know, cultural differences, time together is probably the most important thing. How long have you guys been together? Have you been together a month? You've got 2 pictures, and then you send a visa package in? You're not going to get your visa, I'm afraid. We hope this information was helpful to you. Karina and I are here in Bogota, Colombia, waiting for our K-1 visa. And if you got any questions, put them in the comments. We'll help you. I'll answer all the questions, and we will see you in Colombia, and hopefully soon in the United States of America.